So, Chapter 2, Chubbs. Steppenwolf sets up a headquarters in what appears to be a Chernobyl-esque location, which I didn't know at the time. That's one thing I'll get to.
We'll get to
Chernobyl-esque
that, yeah.
location complete with a blown-out nuclear facility, wherein there is an onyx stone tablet that appears to be weathered as chunks are worn off, and Steppenwolf inserts the Amazonian mother box into it and sends the parademons to find the other two. Whoa. Okay, so for starters, when I first saw this movie, because I had seen like the back flash sequences and shit in the marketing material, I assumed that what he was doing was actually traveling to a different dimension and hiding out in a different dimension, which I think would have been ultimately more cool. But they don't touch on dimensions a lot and they should, because that's a big problem with this thing is where are we? When are we? What's going on? I need to know. But I thought that's what it was. And it wasn't until later when the Justice League is about to attack it that we realized that it was on Earth and it was like an old nuclear facility that had been blown out and it had like eked all this into the ground. And then his line when he first gets there, he smells it and he goes, toxic. That's good. And what I thought that was is he was in the future and he was like, toxic, that's good. That means we won. You know what I mean? Like, that's where my brain went.
Right.
Because of the stuff where they're showing like Batman, alternate Superman, all of these things. Right. I'm thinking that this guy, and they show him travel through like the boom tube. From what I understood, those are interdimensional portals as well as fucking time and space. Yeah, like just as well as through space. So, and they mention universes. That's another thing. So that's the first thing. Then there's this onyx stone tablet that does so many things and is never elaborated upon whatsoever.
At all. There's a huge giant question of like, where did it come from? Why is it here?
Yeah, because as far as we know, Steppenwolf just shows up on Themyscira. Like, he just shows up there.
He doesn't have a spaceship as far as we can tell.
Yeah, he doesn't have he comes here through the boom
as far as we could see in the nuclear facility, it's just there. It's like it's naturally there, and he puts the mother box into it.
And then so after he puts the mother box into it, doesn't that pillar create the tower?
Yeah, that's when
the start goes of his defenses
through the
it shows
reactor.
Like this tower build from the Onyx thing. So it's building stuff, and it's holding the mother boxes in this tablet.
Yeah,
and then he says to the other parademons, they're sleeping. We need to smell them out. I don't even know if he says they're sleeping. He just sends them to look for them. Find me, people. Find its scent.
Yeah,
basically smell it out.
Yeah.
To the other two. It's infuriating. Because in my brain I'm ahead of the curve and I hate it so much.
Just keep going.
Next scene, Bruce Wayne and Alfred talking on the plane about the Flash and how Batman is running out of time to put together the Justice League and is threatened by info given to him by Lex. Because Lex Luthor apparently told him something at the end of Batman vs. Superman. I don't remember this scene. But there's, like, Alfred mentions that, are you just this scared about you can't put a team together because of what Lex said? Mm-hmm. And Batman's like, no, it's more than that. And that's when you brought up the Flash, when the Flash visited him and he gave him that, which I had completely forgotten about that.
That's this next part.
I thought that was in this movie.
Yeah, and that's this next part. The scene in the intro of Lex being privy to alien invasion is implied he told Bruce about it. But it's also coupled with Batman's spontaneous clairvoyance.
Yes.
Because that's what it was in Batman v Superman. And he even says he has a dream or a vision. But really in Batman v Superman, it was implied that it was a vision. And he went to like an alternate future where Darkseid won. And in the sand, he saw the symbol of Darkseid. And the Flash came to him and said, Lois Lane is the key.
Yes.
And so this is like really where we get into Batman's real motivations for wanting to put together the Justice League. Is it's not just that Lex is like, oh, I was given
a vision from the mother spaceship of
about
Zod,
Steppenwolf
the
and these
kryptonite
3 mother
Superman
boxes.
ship.
Yeah, there's an alien coming that's gonna fuck up your day and shit in your
Yeah.
cereal, Batman.
It's
No,
also because of the Flash.
it's also because he had that spontaneous
And a huge
clairvoyance.
issue we have with that is if we have the world's greatest detective told by someone apparently traveling through time and space that someone is the key to the future being awful, you think that the world's greatest detective would have some tabs on that woman and make sure that she's safe.
Yeah.
Make sure maybe she's around, I don't know, when you decide to bring her dead boyfriend back to life.
He would make sure to keep tabs on
Jeebus.
Lois Lane, but then on top of that, another motivation for putting the team together is he feels guilty for the division between him and Superman.
Yeah, Kim
he feels
killing,
bad.
yeah, Superman
and
dying.
he would also keep tabs on goddamn Martha Kent.
Yeah, which he doesn't, because he doesn't know that she lost her farm. Which a guy like Batman, who's the world's greatest detective, who feels guilty over the death of someone, would definitely be looking in on those motherfuckers' loved ones.
Yeah.
Guaranteed he would be.
And
he'd be taking care of them.
And instead, he's not even doing any of that.
No.
He's not even looking
He's
into
not
the
even
possible
looking into the
candidates.
Flash.
Yeah.
Alfred sits at a computer bank looking at the stuff of the Flash and tells Batman that he doesn't have enough information yet. And Batman tells him to hurry up. We gotta get going. We gotta get the Justice League together, Alfred.
And this is
fix my toys.
Yeah, and this is another one where Alfred makes a joke at Batman's expense.
Because he says something about $1 for every time someone said that, and Alfred goes, "You'd be $1 billion more even insufferable," or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically calls him insufferable. And here's the thing, I don't mind. I really actually like Jeremy Irons as fucking Alfred. And there's a scene later that I really, really like. With
the
both
two
of
them talking.
But it's for the most part, it's like Batman telling Alfred to do shit, and Alfred calling Batman a fucking
rich, insufferable dumbass.
Yes, it's just like
Who
it's not
broods in a cave.
It's not the sort of dynamic I personally imagine when I think of Alfred and Batman.
Yeah,
it's just Alfred and Bruce Wayne. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a father and a son to me.
He is having Alfred do all the Batman stuff for him.
Yeah,
like, Alfred is the one looking up the possible candidates with superpowers to join the Justice League. And this scene proves that because there's a scene later where Batman's not doing anything but shaving his fucking face in a mirror and telling Alfred what he wants done. And the scene ends with Bruce Wayne telling Alfred to get back to work. Who else do we have?
That's the next. So we had this middle one too. The scene in the intro of Lex being privy to alien invasion is implied. He told Bruce about it.
Yeah, I talked
coupled
about that.
with Batman's.
That's when I was saying the spontaneous clairvoyance, because like his motivations are important to his character.
And then Alfred continues to make jokes at his expense. Batman's not doing anything but shave and tell Alfred what he wants done. Ending the scene with Bruce Wayne telling Alfred to get back to work.
Who else do we have, Alfred?
Come on, get back to work.
What does it say on that computer over there that you're fucking using? I want to know.
Alright, here's the next one. Establishing shot of Star Labs where Cyborg's father works is built around what appears to be Zod's spaceship. Guessing, this movie doesn't say it's Zod's but calls it the Superman ship. Later, which we didn't know at the time, it also calls it the Kryptonian ship. Mm-hmm. Where does this take place? Star Labs was in Central City. Cyborg appears to be from Gotham because he's always wearing Gotham University gear. Maybe he's going to college in Gotham. It's never explained.
Yeah.
Is Zod's ship in Metropolis? Janitor is taken by Parademon and clearly looks way different than previously shown Parademons. Very insect-like and bears no visual resemblance to the sketch revealed later. The reason we bring that up, here in a bit we're going to get to this sketch of the witness that saw this janitor get taken, and it's
hilarious.
Oh my hell.
And it was we were laughing so hard when it happened.
I couldn't believe that it was seriously doing that. I was like, well, we know why Whedon cut this ridiculous shit out.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember that, dude. I don't remember the sketch. I sure as shit don't remember J. Jonah St. Jameson.
Who knows?
Yeah, dude, I don't remember that. But this is the locational thing where we never really know where we are. Like, there's Central City, Metropolis, and Gotham, and we're thinking that Central City is where the Flash's scenes are taking place because Flash was from Central City. But Star Labs, we know, was in Central City because of the Flash. But then there's Star Labs, and it looks like it's been built up around, like it's a temporary facility built up around the spaceship, right? So they could work on it. So is that Metropolis? But if that's in Metropolis, then how come later in Gotham, it's like there's so many questions about
if it is in Metropolis, how close is it to Gotham? Because there's so many scenes where Silas Stone, working at Star Labs, goes straight to Victor's apartment, which is, I'm assuming, in Gotham?
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is Star Labs in Gotham, or is Star Labs in Metropolis, or is Star Labs based in Central City?
And then there's one where the spaceship is.
Yeah.
Who
knows?
But that's the thing. That's what's confusing us, is because I was like, that totally doesn't look like the official Star Labs.
At all.
That looks like it's been built up around the spaceship. So this must not be in Central City.
The locations look interchangeable between each other, which is another thing that I would like to point out.
And the reason we mentioned Cyborg wearing Gotham University gear is going to become apparent later. But we figured Cyborg is going to college in Gotham. That's what we figure based on what the movie shows us and what we see.
Right.
But then what he says is very counterproductive to that.
Yeah.
And it's a throwaway line meant to be witty, like dialogue for the character banter, like you said.
Exactly.
But it's banter.
Yeah, banter.
It's fucking banter. All the banter in this movie is banter.
But the visuals on each individual city, I feel like this is a wasted opportunity because you have these 3 cities that are very distinct looking from each other in the source material. And in this movie, they look all the same. They just all look like New York City.
Yep. There's no really visual differentiating between the different. Like you said, I understood Gotham to be like smoggy. I understood
dark
Metropolis
and rainy and like very archaic and
Metropolis was more like City of the Future. Like
New York City,
pretty, and
giant skyscrapers, and then Central City was more like sci-fi future.
Yeah,
like
had, way advanced
tram stations because that was the home of Star Labs.
Yeah,
so.
It's confusing.
It's a wasted opportunity for this movie.
To build the world,
the opportunity to show us these 3 distinct locations from the source material.
And give them their own personality and make each scene within them feel different visually and stylistically from the other ones because it's a different location. But it all just runs together.
But it all looks like just New York City.
Yeah, and it all just runs together. And the thing about it is that there's even more confusing location situations when you question, where was Batman and Alfred earlier when they were meeting after he got back from meeting Aquaman? Where was that?
That's were on an airplane flying.
No, they weren't on an airplane. They were on the ground. Then they were on an airplane.
That's right, yeah.
They were first on the ground, and he goes, can't you go somewhere warmer? Jamaica. It's like we don't even know where Aquaman was. We have no idea where that was.
Some super fishing village.
Super fishing village that's cold enough that there's icebergs in the harbor and that they need Aquaman to bring them fish or they'll all starve.
Yeah.
Why don't you move, you fuckers? Maybe it's not working out there, and maybe if you need to rely on an ancient god, you should probably just check out and move somewhere warmer. How about that? Anyway. Then they couldn't smell his sweaters.
As they come and see
Oh, God. This fucking movie. Hippolyta. Alright, we're going to the next scene. Hippolyta lighting ancient signal fire that was used to warn mankind that the mother boxes were in danger. Knowing mankind has forgot, it is intended a message for Diana. As a message for Diana. The Amazonian costume design is awesome. So once again, I already went over that, but I really like her cloak here. How it's gold and it shimmers in the firelight and
got
the lighting.
Armor plates on it. Yeah,
it looks really cool. And that's just I wanted to pinpoint the moments in my brain upon watching it this 3rd time, taking notes of when I was like, the reason I was so angry was because I was so disappointed with all the good they had to work with here. And this was one of those scenes, like she lights the arrow and she says, "Come back to me, Diana," and
it's
she
like
shoots
the arrow of Artemis. Then they say it's intended to reach the land of man.
She says, "Come back to me, Diana," and I remember you were like annoyed by that because you were like, "Why is she saying to come back?" Because then she never does. Like, to this day, there's not been any point where Wonder Woman's gone back after she left with Chris Pine.
Yeah.
So, like, but I was like, what I interpreted that as you were telling me that, and like we watched it again, because that was like the second time we watched it that you said that, or maybe it was the first time. I can't remember.
I think it was the first time.
Yeah. But I was like, in my mind, I was like, I think she's saying that like, don't die.
Yeah.
Like, because she understands what this threat is.
Significance, yeah.
What this threat is, since she is in a scene coming up where she does understand, like, the great danger involved in what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So that's the way I took it to mean. And after that, we cut. Diana is at work restoring a statue when she hears of arson at ancient ruins and sees the warning fire burning. This is how distractingly gorgeous Gal Gadot is in this white dress in this scene with that lighting. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, Zack Snyder knows exactly what he's fucking doing with that white dress and that lighting, and he's a genius. Another scene where I could just point the genius of the man, the sheer genius of the man, and I can respect his vision. But then I miss key dialogue that I need to know, because later I'm confused, like, where is she? Just some ancient ruins? Because here's the thing, another location problem with not knowing what's going on where, or knowing where things are happening, is where does Diana even work? One guy speaks in with a British accent, another guy speaking a foreign language, I don't know. And it's
French or something?
Yeah, and I just don't know where we are right now. And then all of a sudden but at the point in this scene, they say at the Amazonian ruins is where she goes.
Right.
So it's called, but I literally never heard that. I never comprehended that. I couldn't understand that is what was happening because of that white dress. That fucking lighting. Zack Snyder, you brilliant bastard, you hurt your own script when you do those sorts of things. Stop having key important dialogue play and there's another one we'll be getting to. But there's several times where I was distracted by how gorgeous Gal Gadot is. You too.
Oh yeah.
Where we on this third watch, we were I was laughing my ass off. I was like, that is how hot she is, and you started laughing. You're like, I didn't know that either. Like I didn't hear that
just
either.
Like
I didn't pick that up.
In one ear and out the other. I'm just like, whoa.
Oh my god. But so then Diane, we cut back to the spaceship lab. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh god.
Here we go, everybody.
Oh god. So we just
This is one of the
basically
scenes.
Diana learns of the message sent by the Amazonian queen.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, this one, Chubbz. You do this one.
Alright.
I don't want to do this one.
So we come back to
we could tell.
Well, this is one of those scenes. Yeah, we were laughing hard at this. Anyway, so we cut back to the spaceship lab where the janitor was previously kidnapped to join OSI, questioning Silas Stone about the container that the mother box was previously in, which the parademon was sniffing when the janitor walked in on it. OSI is the Office of Special Investigations from the Department of Justice, and these agents need to be told by Silas that they work on alien technology there, and the mother box has been misplaced. It's just gone. We don't know where.
Here's the thing that bothers me, is they're asking, what it is, and it's like, you don't know? Yeah. You work for the fucking DOJ and you don't know what these fucking people in this lab are doing? Why are you here? Because someone got, disappeared, right? That's what happened.
Well, another thing is Zod has happened. We know aliens are real in this universe. So you don't know that Star Labs was fucking contracted by the DOD to work on xenotechnology for the government, and you are part of the Department of Justice? How
don't
much
know any of this.
Like, woohoo! Anyway. And then another thing, and the mother box has been misplaced. Like, it's just gone. We don't know where it is.
It's gotta be like OSI. It's such a weird thing. Like, it could be FBI or
and
CIA or like a more recognizable.
Yeah.
Because I was confused. Because this sketch you're going to talk about here in a minute ends up back in Gotham. And so what I was confused
in just
about...
local law enforcement hands.
On this third viewing, I was like, specifically like, what do those fucking agents back their jackets say, Chubbs? Because I was like, maybe they're GCPD. Maybe they moved the ship to Gotham. I don't know. Explain something to me, Zach.
Yeah.
What's going on?
And
Where
it's
are we?
OSI.
OSI.
Anyway.
Which we had to Google because we do not know who that is. And that's why we wrote it down, because we're pretty certain that most people do not know what OSI is.
Yeah.
It's so obscure.
Office
it's like
of
just one of
Special
those weird fucking
Investigations.
things that like Zach had heard of, or one of the other writers had heard of, that there's this agency that's the OSI, and it's like, let's use them. It's fucking government xenology. And they're discovering things about the Superman ship.
Like, we already have the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Do we really need an Office of Special Investigations? How many departments of the government do we need just investigating things?
As many that need to get the bails paid.
But anyway, so he just tells them that the mother box has been misplaced, which is another thing that, like, the government is just allowing a piece of alien technology to go missing and not have tabs of where it is. That's pretty strange.
Yes.
Anyway, so then Silas is then told by the OSI that there was a witness and that they got a sketch, and it looks less like a police sketch and more like a child's comic drawing of Batman. This whole scene and sequence of events with the ambient music is fucking dumb.
And this is where we call into where earlier when we talked about this fucking sketch. So earlier when we mentioned in the notes that when the janitor is taken, he's taken by a parademon that doesn't look like the other ones. The reason we say that is the vast majority of parademons that appear in this movie have 2 arms, 2 legs. They wear boots that look like they're containing human feet. Basically, they look like a stunt dude
humanoid,
in cosplay.
A humanoid.
They look like a stunt dude in cosplay.
Exactly.
They do not look like insects, aside from, like, their mouths kind of have, like, sharp, jagged teeth, which could be fish-like if you want to call out piranhas. I don't know. That's what I'm saying is, like...
They have pale white skin and red glowing eyes.
The most insect thing about them is their wings.
Yes.
Right? That's the
but
most insect
for the
thing
majority
about them.
of the parademons that we see throughout the film, their wings, like, almost fold into their back.
When they land.
And disappear.
Like, they're not even visible. But this one... has very insect-like legs, very insect-like hands.
Much it has more 4 arms.
Yeah,
like
4
arms.
It has a more insect-like face. It has wings that are
open
and out. And then they show this sketch, and it looks like a 5-year-old drew, and it kind of has Spider-Man eyes. Like, I feel like it's a Batman. It's like a kid.
And this is a police sketch.
Dude, it's a kid who drew his brother as Batman because his brother tied on a sheet and was dressed up like Spider-Man, but then put on, like, some Catwoman ears. And then his brother interpreted it into this. And then it's presented to us in the movie as if a professional police sketch artist went into this place and talked to these witnesses and drew this.
This is someone on the payroll at the police
stupid.
Department.
This is so stupid, it makes me stupid.
Oh,
I remember, I was like, the guy's face!
Yeah! His face, how he slams it against the glass, like, boom! And it's like an important fucking moment, too.
Serious music playing.
Yeah, and it's like how the camera looks. It like zooms in on the guy walking up to the glass, and he smacks it against it, and there's this thud.
God,
and it's
so
like, motherfucker,
bad.
here.
It's
you know,
so
and
bad.
it does not look like a legitimate police sketch artist rendition. Like if
No.
this was a legit police,
That's why that's the deleted scene that I want to see. Like, I want to see the professional sketch artist who is a detective who does this all the time.
Who drew this.
And I want to hear the people, their description they're giving to him. Because the thing is what we see in the movie doesn't look anything like this.
Yeah.
And this is set up, and I immediately was like, it looks like Batman. Because they need to have Batman tied in as the parent. Like, he's kidnapping people.
Like, they need to think
because
it's
they're
Batman.
continuing this shit with Batman where he was, like, carving bat signals into people's necks and sending them to jail to get murdered. It's stupid. It's stupid, and it's not Batman, and that's what's most infuriating thing about it, is that thing was clearly, like, we were talking about how they look different, and you were like, dude, this would kind of maybe, not even then, but maybe be even more believable if they just used one of the regular ones. Because when you think about it, that really does look like a guy in a cowl. At the end of the day, if you ignore all of the, like, if, like, you were giving a description of it, the interpretation, and then you could make it look more realistic.
Have, like, a legitimate police sketch artist
have it
draw
look more
you.
realistic and have it just be, like, it's black lit, so like the thing is standing in the darkness and it grabs him and takes off much the same way Batman does. And so like then it works, but it's like it's just the delivery of it is so incomprehensibly bad that I cannot even imagine what everyone was how many people looked at this sketch and was like, yeah, that'll play.
That'll work.
And then I don't know if this insect-like one was added later, but why was that decision made at that point then? Why not use the ones that look more similar to Batman? Look
more normal, yeah.
Why would you not use the ones that look more similar to Batman than the four-armed insect one?
Yeah.
I hate this movie, Chubbz.
With open wings. But they draw like this perfect shaded cape behind the figure. That is this shadowy figure of Batman that is drawn like by a 5-year-old.
Pajamas.
And it's like he doesn't even have arms. It's kind of like a stick figure. Like his arms and legs are triangles. And his body's just like this odd...
I apologize to whoever is a producer whose son drew this movie and you got it in because you gave him an extra couple $1 million. Your kid's shit at art.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It's bad.
Maybe that's how it ended up.
It is.
I don't know.
Who knows?
It's so bad.
Maybe Zach just drew that. Was like, yeah, that's good.
It's so bad that it's like, it's one of those things where you just can't even imagine, like, why in the fuck is that seriously gonna try to play to me right now? Like, you're gonna try to play me into thinking that these people really consider for a minute that Batman's involved in these kidnappings.
You know, I have seen on YouTube news stations that have received hilariously bad police sketches, and it was them laughing and making fun of it, and the person who drew it
exactly like
and it
them.
looks something similar to that.
And then they catch, but then have you seen the ones where they catch the guys and it looks just like them?
No.
Those are fucking great, dude. You need to watch some of those.
I just see the police sketches and I'm like,
where
no shit.
Up,
like, that looks like I could do it. And I could do
I know
I could draw cartoons and I've got shaky ass
hands. I saw
hands.
one though where it was like the guy showed it and he laughed, but then later it showed the guy who got caught and he looks just like him and the guy laughs again. It's great, dude. Anyway, but that's just ridiculous. Dude, that's not gonna play. Someone has to understand that that's not gonna play.
It's
dude.
not. It's such a bad
Come
call.
on. Someone's gotta know that's a bad idea.
Like,
how can you not?
Fix it in post-production with fucking CGI or something, man. Like, anything.
Alright, so Silas going to location of the mother box and Cyborg warning Cyborg. What?
Sorry, I didn't do a really good punctuation at the beginning.
To the location of mother box and Cyborg. Warning Cyborg that a monster was at Star Labs looking for the mother box and people were kidnapped and the mother box is no longer safe there. Cyborg remarks Silas knows a lot about monsters and how to make them. So this scene right here sets up a couple of things. It sets up that Cyborg now knows that things are looking for the mother box. It sets up that now we as the audience know that fucking him and his dad have a bad relationship. And it also
understand that Silas is
responsible
why.
for him being in the state he is.
Yeah.
And this scene's great. And I really think that a lot of the Cyborg stuff is really good, actually.
Oh, yeah.
There's some of it that's stupid, and it's bad. It's just bad. And it makes him look stupid, and it makes him look bad. And I don't understand why you do that over and over again, repeatedly to all these characters, to just make them look stupid and make them look bad. It's almost like the people who created this had no give a shits about any of the fucking things they were working with.
Didn't care about the source
That never
material.
happens in Hollywood. That never happens. You never get a bunch of jackasses who make millions with making something that already exists, but far worse. That doesn't happen. That's unheard of.
Getting head of a remake without knowing the original.
And it also is frustrating that they didn't get their own movie, because these two guys who were playing these actors, who were playing Cyborg and Silas, Victor and Silas, they're really good. I like every scene of them. I believe the father-son relationship, the strain there. It's like it almost feels apart from the rest of the movie, and when it collides with the rest of the movie is when Cyborg gets fucked over.
Yeah.
That's when things get dumb and everything gets stupid for him.
Yeah.
Is when it collides with all of this other shit.
That's when the writers just decide that something needs to happen for things
But
to
for
happen.
the vast majority, like, we were really enjoying a lot of this movie the first time through.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, you know, the little things that were like, yeah, whatever, you know, like, there were little things. The sketch was a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
The sketch was hilarious.
We were laughing at.
It was hilarious.
We were laughing
I was more entertained about it than, like, that still is more, like, it's just entertaining to me more than it is, like infuriating.
Pure
it's like, that doesn't really, it's an insult to my intelligence, but it's not as blatant as later on.
Yeah.
At least it's like them trying.
Like, it's...
Yes.
It was, like, laughable.
It's so stupid.
I knew what they were doing, but I was like, whatever.
It's just funny. It's
but
not
it is a sign of things to come. It is a sign of things to come, though.
Alright, scene of Wonder Woman going to the Warning Fires location, which is the Amazonian temple, which we know now because we watched it with subtitles. And her butt did not overwrite the subtitles, so I was able to read what it said at that point. And she retrieves the arrow and descends into the ancient ruins to open a door with the arrow, and learns about Darkseid and the mother boxes from ancient wall paintings that show parademons that resemble them closer than the modern sketch artist's rendition of a witness's description. So,
and it's legit.
Wonder Woman, and another thing that's confusing about this is locationally wise, is it's like Wonder Woman gets the arrow. She just walks in and grabs it, but it's like on the news that it's arson, and it's like, it's kind of hard to believe that she'd just be allowed to walk in there and grab that arrow with no one saying anything.
Like, did the fire burn out?
Yeah,
like,
they're
how
detectives.
Long did it burn?
Is there fire is there
when
arson
it went out, did everybody
going on? Like,
was everybody just like, all right, we're good, we're done,
it's over,
it's over?
But then it also, another thing that happens is she just jumps down a shaft and like lands on her high heels, and they don't immediately shatter into nothingness, because like that's what I'd assume would happen unless they're built out of kryptonite.
Maybe.
You never know. But then it's like, so it goes from like that outer ruined temple, which is like a Roman, it looks Roman.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to her like jumping down, and it's like, where did she go? And then she's like on a. It's
and then she
like,
puts her arrow into the wall.
And she travels down like these stairs on like a broken. Like they're broken, like it's like they fall into
like ancient ruins or
like,
something.
What? Where is this?
The door, the wall opens up, and it reveals like
she slots the arrow in there like a video game key. And then it opens up.
Da, 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 da. And then she walks in, and there's
You got the arrow key.
But there's like this ancient painting of Darkseid with like the mother box unity over his chest.
And another thing about that, bro, is the unity, yeah. Another thing about that is about these cave paintings is there's not a whole lot of writing. We need to point that out. That most of this is just pictures.
It's very small at like the very top of the like picture, and the pictures of the parademons look like ancient like Greek angels.
Yes.
Like kind of like just humans but with wings and like
but they still look more like the parademons because like we said, the parademons that we see for the vast majority of the movie
especially
are humanoid figures.
A modern police sketch
they
artist.
Look like they have metal helms on and they look like they have big metal boots. Like they don't look like insects. They don't look like insects. But then all of a sudden, the one you don't want to look like an insect, because then the witnesses are going to say it looked like a giant fucking insect. It looks like a giant fucking insect. What is... Why? This fucking movie, dude. The balls. The balls on this movie, bro. Oh my hell. All right. So the reason we're making a point of saying that it's just pretty much pictures of parademons and then Darkseid with the unity which we'll get into later. Yeah.
Pretty much it's her learning about what's going on.
But she learns way more than we believe she would be able to learn.
That's going to come into play.
Yes, that's why I'm saying these are limited paintings.
Ancient
humans painted this.
Yes.
And they're pretty limited.
Or was it ancient Amazonians?
It's the Amazonian fucking
monument,
shrine.
But it's on it's in the realm of man.
It was to warn mankind that the mother boxes had been awoken. That was the point of it.
So regardless, it's
like
ancient,
the whole point of it was to warn the kingdom of man that it has gone down. Like shit's going down. You need to prepare.
Regardless,
because that one's like they won't know what it means. It's been 5,000 years or something.
Yeah. But regardless, it's an ancient culture's ruins.
Yes. And it's just not a lot of info that we think you would have from ancient humans. But then again, there's fucking Ridley Scott and his fucking balls.
Well, that's the cave.
With the
That's like
the cave painting that leads to an ancient alien facility of the people who they seeded mankind. So like they could fucking wipe us out by testing alien technology on us. But then they tell us where the fucking weapons facility is, where they're gonna wipe us out so that we can paint it in a caving
to turn us into the xenophobe or xenomorphs. And the xenomorphs, they have a cave painting of the queen.
Let's not start with Prometheus. Let's not. Let's walk away from that.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole.
Anyway, it's just fucking the cave painting thing, bro.
It's the cave painting connection, man. The cave painting connection.
Why the fuck does it always gotta be cave paintings?
I learned this from an ancient culture. Way more info than I should. But I learned it from an ancient culture.
Oh my hell, bro. Alright. Then Aquaman saves a fisherman at sea and brings him back to shore, gets whiskey, treated to another Zack Snyder stylized slow music sequence. This I actually like, and I like the song. There is a kingdom and there is a king. I like it, and I like Momoa. Dude, Momoa is so fucking cut, bro. Him and fucking Henry Cavill, they just got the body of a fucking superhero, bro.
Yeah.
They are just shredded beyond belief. And like seeing him in that slow-mo, drinking the whiskey all badass, and then the water just fucking swallows him. Like these are heroes, dude, that look larger than life and awesome. And then there's Batman in his fucking hobo suit. What in the fuck? And he's like, the whole point of him in this movie is he's just rich. He's super rich, but he's got a hobo suit.
He doesn't do martial arts. He hasn't honed his body. He hasn't honed his mind. He's not the greatest detective that's ever existed, as well as the most advanced engineer and scientist.
So I'm kind of hopeful for this fucking like, Edward Edward Solon Colon movie,
The
bro.
Colin Wayne.
The Edward Cullen Wayne. I can't wait to get me some diamond skin Batman, bro. That's gonna be badass.
It'll come out in 2022.
It'll start the new DC extended universe that will actually be about the good characters and be done correctly. Hopefully. It's like, how can you
we'll
not?
See.
You have these products. They're fucking gold mines, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Mm-hmm. It's like they know it's a gold mine, so they don't even give a shit.
Yeah.
They like outsource it to dumbasses.
The people who clearly don't care.
Like, look at that fucking Suicide Squad movie. And now they got one coming that's James Gunn. And I imagine I actually might like it.
Because it's James Gunn.
Because it's, dude, I'm just saying, the Joker, everything about that movie, dude, is so bad.
And, like, the only James Gunn movie that I'm aware of is Guardians of the Galaxy. So I don't even know if it's going to be good or bad.
I really like, a little segue into the other shit they do. I really actually liked their, like, Aquaman movie. I really liked. Mm-hmm. I really liked Shazam. But you know what I really liked that I was super surprised about was Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
I dug that movie, and I was not expecting it. Like,
there were a couple stupid parts.
Yeah, but for the
most part, it wasn't like this.
It's because
movie.
This world that they have is so bad.
And
I'm sorry, DC really isn't the best.
Parts are literally the canary reveal.
I'm Captain Boomerang. I throw boomerangs.
Yeah. I'm Slipknot. What do?
I climb.
I climb and I do knots.
I tie knots.
Yeah, that's
the man who can climb anything.
I can handle any type of rope.
Oh my god. Anyway, I liked this scene of fucking Aquaman, and I wanted to bring up Momoa because he's super shredded, and seeing him like just walking and like fucking drinking his fucking drink, and then the ocean swallows him.
I want to point this out: this is a different village than his super secret fishing village, because it kind of shows the different opposing people.
The people who
worship him, and then in this place they're like scared and worried about him being there.
They look concerned that he's there.
Yeah. And so that's another thing is like them was way better as opposed to like the girl.
Well, it's like, who's this weird shirtless bastard walking in here taking whiskey saying it's on that half drowned?
Yeah, but I would much rather prefer that scene of him portraying that kind of side of humans as opposed to the other fishing village where they're singing about him and sniffing his clothes. Like, you could easily have done something more subtle with the fact, like, the whole
fishing village thing is weird.
Yeah.
It's just weird that, like, it's because he's Aquaman. If he's gonna be on dry land, it's gotta be in a bar at a fishing village.
On the shore. So he could go underwater.
Oh, my hell. So he goes underwater to ancient ruins where he likes to visit. We put that because we had no idea what they were, the significance of them. Willem Dafoe playing Volko delivers a whole lot of exposition. The most important part being Atlantean Mother Box is under threat. Aquaman's brother incites war with humans. He needs to take up his... You need to take up your mother's trident, Spider-Man! Fucking Chubbz looks at me and yells that. We were watching it. I couldn't stop laughing. I lost it.
Gosh.
Pick up your mother's trident, Spider-Man!
We'll rule this city.
Oh, God.
Do it.
Oh, bro. And becoming king, or at the very least, protect the mother box. So another bunch of stuff he does is he establishes with the... what was his brother's name in that movie?
Orn?
Orn, yeah. King Orn.
King Orn.
He's inciting war with the surface, so it's kind of like building to Aquaman the movie.
Yeah.
But then in so many ways, it contradicts everything in that movie. In so many ways, where it's like, in that movie, it's like he meets Mira for the first time, right? I may be wrong. We've only watched it once, and it's been a while.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure
But
that,
there is some continuity errors.
like,
that
she
carry
talks
over
like a
from that
dolphin at
movie.
one point.
Yeah.
And then in the Aquaman movie, I'm pretty sure they talk underwater no problem to each other.
I think it was just for the sake
And
of
I was
that
like,
movie,
you know what would be funny?
Yeah.
I was like, Chubbz, you know what would be funny, bro, is if the whole Aqua movie, when they're talking underwater, they're really talking like dolphins, like she does here.
I'm
But
pretty
then
sure
it's like
that's-
we have the fucking slug from Hitchhiker's Guide in our ear, and we can understand dolphin now. Like, maybe that's their excuse
Like that's
for it.
what
It's like,
that's what they're going
continuity wise, they can just be like, yeah, they were speaking dolphin the whole time. We just translated it to you fucking humans so you would understand.
for. Yeah. For the sake of the movie, we didn't want to have them speaking in dolphin. We just translated it all
But they
over to
speak
human for you.
dolphin.
Thank you.
Because
You're welcome.
DC Comics,
Thank you. You're welcome.
I bet you they really speak dolphin. Like,
Yeah.
that's something so DC.
Like,
I'm going to say that's
Because they're
DC.
mermaids and mermen, pretty much. But another thing that I want to point out is the underwater ancient ruins where he likes to visit. We don't understand the significance of that unless you've seen Aquaman.
Okay.
Because that statue is of the leader of the Atlanteans.
That
which
was
the
his
Atlanteans-
ancestor, right?
Yeah.
It's like Aquaman's ancestor.
Yeah, I think so. But it's like...
See, but you don't know.
I'm pretty sure because that's why he has the power to talk to fish.
But Willem Dafoe, yeah, that is it, because he talks to the Kraken, and that's like
and
the
he
big.
gets
That's the big thing. that
Trident,
gets him,
which,
yeah.
like, you know, so
Yeah,
that's
and then
the thing.
rolls with it. That shit's awesome. That movie
That
is
Aquaman
cool.
movie is really cool.
Aquaman
but
movie
the
is very
significance
cool.
of that statue is of that leader, and like I was really confused about their backstory, but like I really like the Aquaman movie because it delves into the backstory of this is an ancient civilization that was super advanced that crumbled into the ocean.
And like adapted to survive.
And like some of them can't breathe the oxygen, and they're like specifically
they have like
evolved.
reverse scuba diving suits where
Yeah.
instead of it being like oxygen, it's water.
And it keeps the pressure to the same
And
level
that shit's
as
so
underwater.
cool, and that gives you that cool like non-violent violent shots where like you can trick the fucking what are they called, the ratings board, the people that say R or whatever. You can trick them and still have those awesome shots of like her bashing things with her trident or him stabbing people with his trident. And like the water, they have the water go spraying like it's them breaking their reverse scuba diving suits, but really it's like it's James Wan. So you know that'd be blood all over the fucking place if he had his way, dude.
Oh yeah.
But he's like, fine, I'll just, and he and it's just
like,
it's
alright.
a cool trick to figure out a way to have that while keeping things within the universe that makes sense. It's like, hey, how about you let him fucking run the thing? I don't know, someone who can fucking do it, because this is not doing it. Anyway, but yeah, the all the Aquaman scenes, like, they feel like they were setting up a movie that wasn't concrete yet.
Yeah.
Is what we're getting at with that.
And the concrete details, much like the 1984
Yeah.
Wonder Woman movie, they
Do
do
not
not
carry over.
stack up with the continuity.
Because
They
you got Wonder
bring
Woman
in
lassoing lightning bolts,
and then by
like
the end of
flying
it,
through
she's
the
full blown
sky.
flying. And then in this one, where are those powers? You don't
Yeah,
think those
she never
powers
used
would be
them.
useful? You know?
Imagine she might have been able to get to her sword before the Flash got it to
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Sorry. This fucking movie. Alright, so Steppenwolf contacts Desaad through the Onyx tablet to give him an update on the Mother Boxes, exposition about Steppenwolf's past, betrayal of Darkseid, as well as a sentence of having to deliver 50,000 more worlds to Darkseid. Steppenwolf mentions this world has no protectors, specifically no lanterns or Kryptonians, indicating that they're common, we would assume.
That he's ran into
Them
Kryptonians that are super powerful.
Yeah, that have fucked
But
him over and
here's a
stopped him,
question
maybe?
about Kryptonians, and I don't know about this from the source material, but like I'm pretty sure that Superman's the last Kryptonian.
Supposedly.
But then like from what
who
I
knows?
understand about the Kryptonians,
It's like Dark Souls and Dragons, bro. Like, Gwyn wiped them out, but they're all over the fucking place still.
But then from what I understand about my limited knowledge of the source material of Superman is he gets his power from our sun, and our sun is pretty unique. So, like, do other Kryptonians land on other planets that have a sun that gives them godlike superhero powers?
Or is it specifically our sun? Because Superman's a dumb character.
Yeah.
That's what this is all boiling down to. It's all dumb.
But he's clearly encountered them before.
It's like, and it's not even that he's a dumb character. It's just this, once again, this movie makes him dumb. Because of that reason alone. Like, no Kryptonians here. But then, immediately later, they call him the last son of Krypton.
Yeah.
And it's like, is he the last son of Krypton? Or is there more floating out there that Steppenwolf has come against? Or what? Or was there a battle on Krypton for their planet? But I thought their planet just fell apart because they mined out the natural resources.
Like, way later, he mentions the multiverse, so maybe he's...
Yeah. And that's another thing
a whole other can of worms
that's another thing that's really muddy, okay? This Onyx tablet now not only creates Steppenwolf's defenses for his stronghold, it doesn't only contain the mother boxes and use their power to create said defenses, but that falls apart later. It maybe it's in, like, it might be to unify them, we don't know. It's just like one of those things that it's just there. And it does
a cool visual.
And it does whatever it needs to do. And so he contacts Desaad, and we hear Desaad, like, ask him about, like, the state is good, and he's like, this world will fall, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, yes, to think you could have, and just randomly brings up how Steppenwolf betrayed Darkseid, his family.
It's
like, it's straight up.
He was pleading that he would be able to see his family once he finished there. And Desaad said,
he says that later, dude.
Does
At
he?
this point in time, he does that later. When this all comes up, it's literally Desaad just at one point says, to think you could be here by his side. Like, because he says he will be pleased or something, basically.
Right.
And then he's like, yeah, well, and then he just spills it. Like, if you and he goes, I defended him, told him the ones that betrayed him. Like, and that's why he was granted leniency and wasn't destroyed. And it's like, it's literally there just to give the audience the information that we need to understand who Steppenwolf is.
Right.
Because in the Whedon cut, he just shows up and he's like, Mother. I did that.
Mother.
Yeah, he calls the mother box Mother. Like, I will get my glory. And, like, I don't remember much else about Steppenwolf. Like I said, I fell asleep during that movie every time I watched it.
We tried a couple times.
I couldn't do it. But that's another weird thing is because all of this is building up to an important point in the story where it's when the head hits the concrete. Mm-hmm. And at that point, we're going to want to remember that he says this world has no protectors, lanterns, or Kryptonians. And the reason that's confusing is an upcoming scene. And it's like, we don't even know if that's what they're talking about.
Right.
It's actually the very next scene. Oh my god.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, this movie.
This is the chunk.
This video is going to be so damn
This
long.
is the one where we decided that, like, we cannot just do, like, a brief summary and go off of memory because of this line
This was
exposition.
so confusing. This scene confused me until the point that the movie heads hit the concrete.
Yeah.
Because I was super interested in the mother boxes.
Yeah.
Remember? I kept like, what in the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
What are they? And then when they showed this scene, I was like, okay.
That's okay.
Okay,
That's right.
I get it. But I still had questions. So let's just go.
All
right. Diana goes to Bruce Wayne at Wayne Aerospace Division and breaks in where Batman is working on a prototype troop carrier that won't fly. So a couple of things happen here. Wonder Woman still pines over the pine. Because Wonder Woman has this trend of always bringing up that Chris Pine is dead.
Yeah.
She brings it up several times in this movie at several points.
It's not subtle at all.
No, at all. We just want to point out, in this instance, he's working on his prototype troop carrier, and that's something that we missed.
Yeah.
In 2 viewings of this movie, we missed.
We caught it on the
because there's a low angle shot.
And we had to rewind it to catch it.
There is a damn low angle shot on Wonder Woman's ass in black leather jeans. We missed the prototype trooper carrier that Batman's working on. But it's important. The movie makes a big deal about it. It's brought up constantly. It's got Bruce Wayne, Alfred, and Cyborg working on it like it's a big deal that makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's why we want to bring that up. And another thing that happens is Bruce once again makes a comment about how rich he is.
Yeah.
I paid $9 million for that security system.
Yeah.
And she's like, it was worth it. It took me like 10 minutes to enter.
It took me 1
something.
minute to hack your system.
Yeah, 1 minute to break it or something.
You got your money's worth.
But it's basically like, he's just another where he's like, I'm rich. I'm super rich.
And her pining over the pine.
I'm Bruce Wayne, I'm rich.
She's like asking him what he's working on, and he's like, prototype troop carrier. All the greatest minds in Wayne Aerospace Division couldn't get it to fly. And she's like, and you think you can? And he's like, I have to.
All right.
I need more range and cargo. And she
and
then her pine over the pine, she like folds her arms and like,
I knew a man, yeah.
I knew a man who would have loved to fly this once.
But Batman's like, I need more range and I need more cargo.
Yeah.
It's like, you're fucking Batman. You can't make a jet that works?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And not just Batman, but old Batman.
And also, old Batman who says that all the mines at Wayne Aeroscience couldn't make it fly.
Yeah.
But somehow he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
The best minds, and it's like, yeah, I believe that he'll do it. But then he doesn't even do it.
He doesn't do Batman things.
He can't even do it. Batman in the end can't even do it.
No.
And Cyborg does it. Anyway. Holy shit. So this is when we get into the huge exposition dump.
This is where we do the quotes.
So much, dude. So much. And it's all taking place to a super awesome action sequence of like the old gods like Ares and Zeus and Artemis, and then we see like ancient humans, and they're formed of like you can see some Mongol tribesmen and like some kind of Viking stuff, and then some more of like early Celtic shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's all sorts just represented from humankind
like
through the ages.
Ancient human civilizations.
Yeah, like that would come and just show up at the Alliance. And then you got ancient Amazonians, and with them is Jenny. And I turned to Chubbz the second I saw her, and I was like, Chubbz, they figured out a way to get Jenny back in the franchise. And Wonder Woman's mother is there as well. And then there's the Atlanteans.
Yeah.
And they're all like
And
got
the
their
king of the
tridents and like that
Atlanteans.
fish armor that looks really cool. Like,
Yeah.
and so they're staring up, and so let me read it all. Wow. So it shows them. Let's just fucking read this.
Yeah, let's just read this.
We quote for quote took what she says because it's so confusing. From what I've learned, there are things he asks her. He says there's enemies coming. I need more range for my paratrooper toy.
I think there's enemies coming.
Yes, I think there's enemy coming. And she says they're already here. And he says, who are they? And she goes, from what I've learned, they are things from another universe. They serve a dark power, an old power. Bruce asks her, what do they want? Diana says, to invade, to conquer. They came here once before, long ago. A huge armada appeared in the sky, laying waste to all who opposed it. The leader of the invaders was a being called Darkseid, a name cursed and feared in every universe. Darkseid was met in battle by Earth's defenders, the old gods, men, Atlanteans before their descent into the sea. Then why are they wearing fish armor and using tridents? Did they always wear fish armor and use tridents? What the fuck, dude? Before their descent into the sea, Amazons before their betrayal and enslavement. What? The Amazonians' betrayal and enslavement. Don't even know anything about that. And Guardians from the Stars, we see one Green Lantern, but it says Guardians from the Stars. And the one Green Lantern looks like a pig demon from fucking Zelda or something. Like an early NES version of Ganon.
Yeah.
Like, he just looks weird,
And he
dude.
is weak.
Yeah.
He goes out like fucking Boba Fett.
Yeah, dude.
Whoops, my bad.
Just dead, dude.
Dead.
All right.
Dead.
So their histories had taught them not to trust each other, not to hope for an alliance, to fight apart. As Darkseid waged war on Earth, this is when I just lost it. I was like, hold on, Chubbz, rewind it. Even on our first viewing.
Yeah.
Because I was so fixated on the mother boxes that at this point in time, I thought that they had found the mother boxes on Earth.
Yes.
That's where it came from. But then you're like,
And how
no.
she strings the
And
sentence
she strings
together.
it together. It's so confusing.
It's like, don't
dude.
think about this thing. We gotta move on to the next thing, and then the next
But
thing.
for
and
the sake of everyone listening, when Darkseid enters the battlefield, he drops out of his spaceship and he like plows this big hammer into the earth, and this symbol appears in molten lava. Upon our first viewing, we thought that this was a tactic for preparing the battlefield in a favorable way to him and the invaders, because we see his planet and it's like dark and grim and like fiery and shit. So like I was assuming that they'd be able to more properly handle that sort of environment, you know what I mean? I mean, Steppenwolf's at a fucking nuclear meltdown facility, right? So I'm like, maybe, and that's what I thought that was. I hadn't, and that is shown, as she says, as Darkseid waged war on Earth, he found a secret there, a power hidden in the infinity of space. Okay? Then, very quickly, he called forth mystics who worshipped and controlled 3 objects, the mother boxes. Bruce, wait. Mother boxes? Like everybody, I'm just like, yes, thank you. I was seriously like, thank you, Batman.
Like that was
For
our
once,
reaction.
For
was
once,
his,
you're
yeah,
doing something
like,
I want
wait.
you to do. What are these things?
Yeah.
And she just goes, without missing a beat, indestructible living machines made from a science so advanced it looks like sorcery. To conquer, 3 boxes have to synchronize and join together into the unity. The unity cleanses the world in fire, transforming it into a copy of the enemy's world. All who live become servants of dark. And this confused me because I was like, the enemy's world? Because the way that they described that, I had thought he had found the mother boxes. That was the secret he had found in the infinity of space.
Yeah.
Because the fucking mother boxes are pretty insane. You bring them to a planet, you put them together, and then they terraform that planet to an exact copy of your living environment and turn everyone on the planet into unwilling slaves in your parademon army.
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty significant secret that could have been hidden in the infinity of fucking space.
Yeah.
Holy shit! But no, that's not what
That's
we're
not
talking
it.
about. That's not what we're talking about.
No, that's not what they're talking about. So,
You finish this, dude.
okay, so all who live become servants of Darkseid, alive but drained of life, parademons. But before the unity could synchronize, the defenders of Earth attacked and fought as one. Amazons alongside Atlanteans, Zeus and his son Ares alongside the Guardians from the sky.
Even though we only see
one lantern.
the single lantern.
A golden age of heroes fighting together to defend life on Earth. They did what no world had ever done, sent the enemies back into the stars. The 3 mother boxes never synchronized. The unity never came to pass, but in their retreat, the boxes were left behind on Earth. They grew weak, dogs without masters, falling asleep, awaiting their return. Fading from the view of the enemy, anonymous among a trillion worlds. The defenders of Earth made a vow. Men, Atlanteans, and Amazons would enshrine and guard one of the 3 sleeping mother boxes according to the rites and rituals of their culture in a case a box should ever wake again to call out to the planet Apocalypse to return and conquer the only world Darkseid had ever lost. Wow, that was a mouthful, Diana.
Something woke the box my people guard. It called out to the dark place, to one of Darkseid's conquerors. The enemy is here. Okay.
So,
Holy fuck.
let's
All right.
tackle this bitch piece by
Hold on.
piece.
Alright, so
Keep in mind
the
that-
heroes fight. The action scene is really awesome.
Oh, the action
whole-
is
and-
excellent.
And that was the thing.
And seeing Zeus and Ares
This-
and Artemis in combat against Darkseid, and
Yeah.
then seeing Ares take his axe and deliver the final blow against Darkseid and have it break through Darkseid's hammer or weapon and then have it go straight into his shoulder.
Yeah.
And then then the
They
sonic
had to
boom
retreat.
kick.
Yeah, the sonic boom kick. Boom! There's sonic death keys, sonic boom kicks in this movie.
Yeah.
Everything's got a sonic boom.
The action
visual
sequence is
to it.
awesome. The only
Yes.
action part that I didn't like about this was the lantern.
Yeah,
which
because
is
he didn't do any good.
he
lantern.
flies
He's
up
just
in
like-
the air. He gets knocked into by two parademons. Like, they don't even attack him. They just bump into him from all we see. And then he hits the ground. And then he goes to shoot a laser at Darkseid before abruptly getting destroyed.
Yeah, he cuts his hand off and then his head, doesn't
Yeah.
he?
And then the ring flies off his hand and goes into the ether.
Yeah.
So, like...
But for the most part, I agree. And it's like, that's kind of wasted because the lanterns are awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, they can
They're
manifest
guardians
any-
of
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
the entire universe.
Yeah, dude.
They like have
That's
Green
why I
Lantern
still-
Corps.
It's like she read that and they didn't understand that they were only gonna have one lantern.
Yeah,
And it says guardians, and it's like, but hold up,
But
it was one
one.
guardian.
really.
Yeah, it's just one. Everyone else is localized here, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's like.
But-
But that's when I was
and then
like, is
another
Zeus
thing-
like Thor in this? Like in Marvel, like how they're from a different planet? Is that what Zeus and them are like? And Chubbz was like, no, because that wouldn't make sense because they specifically say the old gods.
Yeah,
So they give them their own classification in concert with
the
Guardians from the Sky.
Yeah.
It's fucking
And then,
ridiculous, dude.
Another thing to take into consideration with this whole exposition dump is she learned all of this from an ancient civilization wall, the cave wall
painting, yeah.
connection.
And
So
so-
ancient
huge thing she said-
cultures learned about how in depth how the mother
Yeah.
boxes work. They learned about how the Unity can terraform a planet into a copy of the enemy's world and turn that population of
privy
that
to that
planet into
information.
parademons. Like they're privy to so much
they're privy-
information that it
They're-
blows my
They're
mind.
also privy to the information that this is the only fight Darkseid ever lost. They're also privy to the fact that there
He's
are
feared
universes
in
because
every universe.
in every universe. They say every universe. So that like to me, like you don't say universe unless you're talking about different
multiverse.
Yeah, like a
multiple-
different area of reality that we don't see. Because
Exactly.
There's there's our galaxy. I don't understand it, dude.
Yeah.
I was just so confused. And then it's like
And
the
then-
infinity of space. He found a secret there. In the infinity of space. It's
So,
like, I don't
and
even
then
think she knows what
immediately-
she's talking about,
And then
dude.
immediately from that, he then called forth mystics to bring forth 3 mother boxes. So it was almost like because he found whatever he was looking for, that was why he called forth the mother boxes. What if
Yeah.
he didn't find that? Would he still call forth
Yeah.
the mother boxes?
Because
And-
doesn't he just come and he just does that? He just terraforms planets and turns
And he
yeah.
destroys them, right? That's his whole deal.
This is so fucking confusing, but it's not even close to how confusing it's gonna get.
But then she also knows that the ancient cultures also knew that they
They
grew
come
weak,
from-
like weak with dogs without masters, right?
Yeah,
so
which
like the
doesn't even-
boxes
but
went
then
to
how do they
sleep
how do they
because-
wake up?
Exactly.
It's like they know they
And then
grow
fading
weak, but
from
then they
view-
grow strong. But their masters aren't here, so how do they grow strong again?
yeah, and then they faded from the view of the enemy, anonymous among a trillion worlds.
It's like how could they fade from your memory?
Yeah.
Isn't this the only fight you ever lost? That'd be a pretty significant thing you'd want to fucking remember
Yeah.
as an intergalactic like conqueror.
And so then,
interdimensional
yeah.
conqueror.
But then it goes to the defenders of Earth made a vow, men, Atlanteans, and Amazons. Now, when it talks about this, it's also showing each individual culture and how they create the case that goes...
The metal case around the mother box.
Yeah.
And it, like, shows the men, they're, like, knocking it out of sand mold, and it, like, falls out, and you're like, oh, well, they just made a mold and then poured the iron in there and let it, you know, settle over it. And
right.
then, you know, like, okay. But then it goes to the Atlanteans, and they're pulling a metal box out of a small little pool
of squid tentacles.
With the tentacles, like they forge it in tentacle water. That's how they're people. And this is before they went into the ocean. So they're still, like, when they weren't in the ocean, they're like, we forge our shit in tentacle still.
Tentacle water.
Tentacle water forged still. Yeah. Cooled still. And then if it's not cooled in tentacle water, then it's not Atlantean metal, for God's sake. Yeah.
And then the Amazonians, it's like they have this box and it's being forged by a laser from the sun.
Yeah, it's like blasting it. If
you
don't have sun forged still, if you don't have sun forged still, fuck you, humans. Meanwhile, then it shows where they hide it.
Where they enshrine it. So they enshrine and guard and protect. That's their whole vow.
Yeah. The Amazonians build a collapsible temple built to fall into the sea at their command. The fucking Atlanteans create a stronghold for it and put it in a stronghold. And the humans, they bury it in the fucking ground in the woods somewhere.
Bury it. Just bury it. We don't need to make sure it doesn't wake up. We don't need to make sure it's okay.
Some random spot in the woods.
Just some alien technology from the sky. Just
the guy
bury
who saved Arya. Thomas called that. He's like, that's the dude who saved Arya in Game of Thrones. And I was like, thank you. In my brain, I had placed him in the fucking Lord of the Rings, and he might be in the Lord of the Rings. But it's his helm. It's his helm, dude. It looks like he's wearing the freaking Witch King's it's the Witch King's crown, and I'm like, it does.
It does.
But anyway, that and what's funny is in the end, the human mother box is the last one they get.
Yeah. It's almost like the idiocy of man pays off.
Imagine.
Just bury it. Shit don't wake up. It works out.
Buried in the fucking woods, son. That'll take care of it, dude. And then it ends up with the fucking Nazis somehow. Oh my god, this fucking movie. Anyway. So then... it says, she ends it with, it's something woke the mother box of my people. It called out to the dark place, to one of Darkseid's conquerors. The enemy is here. And that, mercifully, is the end of part 2.